I'm Dave at Thomas Jacks, and at the game fair everyone was welcome on the Pulsar viewing platform to ask our experts, meet like-minded countryfolk, and put to the test every spotter and scope in the Pulsar thermal and digital night vision range. It's also where I put a bunch of questions to one of our professional hunting friends, Dr Al Gabriel. He's a geneticist, he's on the BASC Council, and he's a deer stalker. So what I wanted to know is, can anyone try deer stalking?
So I've been focusing on deer stalking for a good part of about 7 years. That's the only thing I do. I work and I stalk. There's no middle ground essentially. So that's basically my passion. And now, recently I've realised there's an issue with having access to shooting and getting newcomers. Particularly deer stalking is perhaps one of the most difficult disciplines to get to. Some people are born with particular traits, just like a musician or an artist. Some people are born with particular traits that bring them out to the wild. And since I was a child, I've always been interested in animals, the way they move, why they do the things they do, and the predatory nature of other animals, etc. So I paid too much attention to how the wild works. And in some people, it's almost your innate view of the world. For some people, they're natural hunters. Some people got trained into it, some people are born into it. So there's a caveat of how people, different spectrum of how people start hunting. For me, I've always believed it's something I've always had since I was a child. I started just looking at birds when I was about 4. I was raised in East Africa, so we had plenty of birds. And I came to the UK when I was about 16, and I joined the TA in my early 20s. Spent about 5 years with the TA. That's why I was professionally trained as a rifleman. And I took up pigeon shooting right after university through friends. And I joined a syndicate, just having a go at pheasants and that sort of thing. And a couple of the guys were deer stalkers on the same ground. And they said, well, you seem to like this a lot, why don't you come and join us on a bit of deer stalking, see if you like it. I said, well, anytime. So I joined them and they took me out a couple of times, and the rest is history basically. So most people tend to go to clay grounds and they use shotguns that are owned by the range, and they are put through the training program on weekends just to have a go at a stand with a professional who will guide you on how to use it and how to best shoot and your techniques, etc. Once people have done that, they tend to apply for a shotgun license and get their own equipment and build from that. For most people, unless you have a family member that takes you out to show you how things are done, most people tend to go to event days, training days, local grounds, and joining local shooting clubs, and that's how people start. Even if you have to travel a bit, it's very, compared to continental Europe, where you have to train for 2 years, night classes to be given your hunting license. In the UK, we have a very easy system to get to, we still have training programs, but we're not as complicated as the rest of the world. Although our control systems for weapons are quite complicated, but actually getting into the sport of whether it's clay shooting, pigeon shooting or deer stalking, it's actually there's a lot of support. So you can always find the nearest person to help you guide you. It's a welcoming community, despite what you really need. It really is one of the friendliest communities. I've got friends, tons of friends out here, which I visit every game fair. I make the rounds and say hello to everyone. It really is welcoming. Anybody who says they want to pick up shooting, most people are quite welcoming, and honestly, you just have to, and we've got Instagram now, we've got social media, just find the nearest person, send them a message. I can guarantee you, we've all taken hundreds of people out to get them started, and we all do it regularly. That's how we grow the sport. So yeah, there's absolutely no barrier whatsoever. Just find your nearest ground, find your nearest person, use social media, and just drop them a message, and they'll help you out.
So maybe it's not too hard to give deer stalking a go, whoever or wherever you are. You can hear more from Dr Al, like how he responded to this. Or there's loads extra if you subscribe. I'm Dave at Thomas Jacks. Thanks for watching.